Present.
Senator Magofnia,
Present.
Representative Manglonia,
Present.
Representative Omar,
Kindly.
Representative Probst,
Present.
Chairman Sablan,
Estiga.
Representative Villagomez,
Here.
Representative Yangtamay,
Sorry. Present.
Representative Yumu,
Here.
Senator Babata, Representative Camacho Vicente. Mr. Chairman, we have 19 members present, 2 members absent.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. With 19 members present, we have duly established a quorum. Please take note that Senator Selena Babauta and Representative Vicente Camacho is hereby excused on today's order of business. And moving along, we are now on item B, reading and approval of the journal. Madam Clerk.
Mr. Chairman, we have one SNILD Journal 23-17, first day, fourth regular session, dated September 3rd, 2024.
And before I hand it over, I wanted to state for the record that I am delegating Rep. Riumo to be our acting floor leader today in the absence of our floor leader, Babauta. So at this time, I recognize the acting floor leader for the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I now move to adopt SNILD Journal number 23-17, first day, fourth regular session dated September 3, 2024. So move.
There is a motion offered by our floor leader for the adoption of SNILD Journal 23-17. It has been seconded. Discussion on the motion. Ready? All those in favor, please say aye. Those opposed, say nay. The ayes have it. Motion adopted. Moving along, we are now on item C, public comments. And at this time, if there's any member of the public that wishes to make comments, the podium is open. Please state your name for the record.
Now? Thank you. Hafide Zantido. My name is Emma Perez. I am the co-founder and COO of 500 Sales. First, I want to say happy Thanksgiving. My heart is full of thanks for all that all of you do for our community. And I'm really honored, and I always get really nervous at this podium. I don't know why, but anyway. 500 Sales has a proposal into SNILD, and I just wanted to remind you of it and tell you some of the things about it. So I'm just going to read. On behalf of 500 Sales, its program participants and volunteers, and the community that we serve, I would like to invite SNILD to join us in our efforts to enable, support, and guide the people of the Northern Marianas to a future where traditional maritime practices are once again a normal part of daily life in our islands. We are asking for one-time support for the beach canoe project in the amount of $30,000. The Beach Canoe Project places locally built traditional Chamorro and Carolinian canoes on Saipan's beaches near tourist hotels for the enjoyment of our visitors. These canoes are of ancient design and are beautiful, colorful, and exciting to see on the beach and in action on the water. Visitors can walk up to them, take pictures, touch them, and have the opportunity to take a ride on these traditional canoes with local crew who will welcome them, talk with them, keep them safe on the water, and share with them the stories of these canoes that were developed and used here for thousands of years and shaped our island culture and society. What the tourists will experience in the Marianas is rare, an intimate and genuine cultural experience with traditional Micronesian canoes and the native people who build and sail them. It will completely change how tourists see our islands and will greatly enhance our island's appeal as a tourist destination. We've received seed funding from MVA, HandMe, and Lady Wella Foundation and have started to explore the logistics, permit requirements, and relationships with hotels needed to successfully bring this project to life. Funding from SNILD will allow us to extend the pilot program as we extend south along the west side of Saipan The beach canoe projects, when fully implemented, will create over 70 culturally based jobs that pay more than a living wage. And 500 Sales is actively training a local workforce for these jobs. Through our partnership with Indigenous Affairs Office, we are building a new cultural maritime industry in the CNMI, while at the same time supporting and strengthening the CNMI's main industry of tourism through destination enhancements that puts colorful and exciting sailing canoes on our waters and allows our tourists to meet local people while experience sailing on a canoe. Funds received from SNILD will go towards costs for sailors, sailor training, canoe maintenance, as well as a result of the program, administrative time spent on obtaining original permits, DPL required documentation, etc. We also anticipate that eventually the Beach Canoes project will cover itself and be a source of program revenue for 500 Sales in support of our operations, providing programs for the community, especially as tourists continue to return. There was a Beach Canoes project overview that was distributed, and I also just gave one to Sarge that has more details about this, but I just want to encourage you. We're looking towards the future. We're looking towards jobs. We're looking towards making the CNMI a very, very special place for visitors to come. And happy Thanksgiving again.
Thank you, Ms. Emma Perez. The podium is still open.
Check. Afterdays and Tiruami. My name is Milton Coleman Jr., also known as June, the Executive Director at 500 Sales. I'm just here to share with you a little bit where we're at with our project. It's ongoing, and I kind of look at it as, February was when we got pregnant with this idea. And now it's 9 months later. The baby is about to be born. We need some Nino and some Nina to step forward to help support us. The interesting thing is that 500 Sales has been drawing a lot of attention internationally. We had features in BBC, New York Times, the LA Times, and they all recognize the uniqueness of our maritime culture. It's what made us quite famous with all the explorers previous, and it's something that really is relevant today with our establishment, the vessels being fossil free and utilizing the traditional knowledge of our ancestors. And like I tell all the students that we engage with, this is a part of our culture and it's in every single one of our DNAs. It's a special thing. And for us to be sharing it with the world, I think it sets precedence into what kind of place we are. We've spent well over 50 years commemorating war. And I think it's time that we really try to promulgate peace. And those canoes represent peace and humanity. And I just was looking over a video of one of our sailing days out in front of Crown Plaza. And I had on board a American educator and an educator from China. And they both were big smiles, enjoying themselves. And I had them introduce themselves to each other and just pointed out to them that, look, we're out here on the ocean on this Chamorro sailing canoe, enjoying peace, tranquility, and relationship. And that's kind of also what these engagements can be. We haven't sailed around the world, but the world has really sailed around with us. We have people from all over the planet that has gone with us, several thousand, and all of the reactions are very positive and enduring. The recent is we received an email from the U.S. Coral Task Force just thanking us for providing this opportunity and that it was the highlight of their visit here. But we're partnering more with science organizations to do some research and data. But this really, the canoe project, which we're kind of renaming as Mariana's Ocean Nature Adventure, MOTNA, because it kind of sounds like Moana, which is trending. soon. But that's what most people know. They know Moana, but this is the real thing. It's not a cartoon. But I encourage you guys to please support us, and you won't be disappointed. We're really trying to rebrand the CNMI as a pace that's unique. You can go anywhere in the world to do parasailing, jet ski, snorkeling, but this is something very special to our place. And I just thank you for your time. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your families. And please don't hesitate to join us out on the beach. We still do the free community programs, sailing on Saturdays. It's great for the mental health therapy and give you guys a break from all the stresses that you have to deal with up here on making these kind of decisions. But thank you, all house members. Jesus Masis and Cristo.
Thank you, Mr. June Coleman. The podium is still open if any members of the public wishes to make comments. Seeing that there's no further public comments, we now move further down on our order of business. Item D, introduction of local bills. And at this time, the chair recognizes himself to officially introduce House Local Bill number 23-59 to the delegation, to amend the zoning law as amended to add a definition for automobile sales and services and for other purposes. Just for the record, members, this proposed legislation is already referred to the Standing Committee on Zoning. So we will be waiting the committee report and the deliberation of the zoning committee. And at this time, I recognize now our floor leader.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Now introducing House Local Bill 23-60 to impose an additional 3% tax on yearly gross income, yearly gross of construction activities in excess of $250,000, offered by myself. Thank you. And if there's no objection, we'll refer this to the bill calendar.
Are there any objection?
No objection.
Okay, so at this time, I recognize the floor leader to make that motion that we place House Local Bill 23-60 into the bill calendar, but no action for today's session.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I now offer a motion to place House Local Bill number 23-60 to today's action for discussion. Thank you. So move.
There is a motion offered by our floor leader to place House Local Bill 23-60 on the bill calendar. It has been seconded. Discussion on the motion. Ready? All those in favor, please say aye. Those opposed, say nay. The ayes have it. Motion adopted. Moving along in our introduction of local bills, I recognize now Representative Blas Jonathan Atong.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Formally introducing House Local Bill number 23-67 to reappropriate funds under Saipan Local Law 20-04 and Saipan Local Law 20-26 and for other purposes, introduced by myself and several others. And there's no objection for the members. I respectfully ask the floor leader to place this on calendar for action today.
Any objection? And with that, recognize the floor leader for the proper motion.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I now offer a motion to place House Local Bill number 23-67 on bill calendar for action. So move.
There is a motion offered by our floor leader for the placement of House Local Bill 23-67, and it has been seconded. Discussion on the motion. Thank you, members. All those in favor, please say aye. Those opposed, say nay. The ayes have it. Motion adopted. And last on our introduction of local bills, recognize the floor leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Chairman, I apologize. Now introducing House Local Bill number 23-68 to appropriate $205,000 from revenues collected for the 3rd Senatorial District pursuant to 10 CMC 3841. So move. Thank you. And if there's no objection by the members, I will now offer a motion to place House Local Bill 23-68 to today's bill calendar for action. So move.
There is a motion offered by a floor leader for the placement of House Bill 23-68 into the bill calendar. It has been seconded. Discussion on the motion. Ready? All those in favor, please say aye. Uh, uh, Before we recognize Representative Marissa Flores.
Thank you, Chairman. I know that you guys or we have decided that this is going to go up to today's calendar for vote. I'd like to take this time to plea for the importance of the appropriation that will be given to the Department of Public Safety. As I do understand, there is a lame duck, so we would need the majority of the vote in order for this to pass. Is that correct?
That is correct. And
Okay.
the magic number is 16.
Okay, so with that being said, I ask my fellow colleagues to please support the appropriation of the 75,000. And if there's any more that this August body would like to give in the future, I ask that you do so. Thank you so much. I yield.
Thank you, Representative Marissa Flores. We're still in the motion to place the House Local Bill 23-68. Are there any further discussion? Ready? All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. Motion adopted. Thank you, members. That took care of item D, introduction of local bills. We are now on item E, introduction of local resolution. There is none. We move down to item F, messages from the governor. Madam Clerk.
Mr. Chairman, we have two Governor's Communication number 2349 and 2350.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Discussion on messages from the governor. Ready? Thank you, members. Moving along, we are now on item G, messages from the mayors of Saipan and Northern Islands. Madam Clerk.
Mr. Chairman, we have four Mayor's Communication number 23-25 to 2328.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Discussion on messages from the mayors of Saipan and Northern Islands. Ready? Thank you, members. We move down to item H, reports and communication from heads of department and agencies. Madam Clerk.
Mr. Chairman, we have two Department and Agencies Communication number 23-13 and 2314.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Discussion on reports and communication from heads of department and agency. I recognize Representative Marissa Flores.
Once again, Chairman, thank you. As we can see, it's a beautiful thing to give appropriations to a lot of the agencies that have been requesting for money over the years, at least the past 2 years in which I sat in this committee. I have yet to receive any performance report from any of the allocations that have been voted on and approved by this committee. I ask the chairman and members of the this committee to please request that the performance report be given before the end of this fiscal or before the end of the calendar year and as we go into the new fiscal year. I have not seen any reports from any of the allocations that was made, and I think in order to do and stand on our fiduciary responsibility, it's only fair that we receive one. Thank you. I yield.
Thank you, Representative Marissa Flores. And duly noted, normally, with all the appropriations that we have appropriated to numerous department and agencies and NGOs, upon depletion of those funds is when they report back to the SNILD. So we are getting, as we move along, reports from all those appropriations in the past that we have appropriated, just to state for the record. Any further discussion on reports and communication from heads and departments? Ready? Moving along. Members, we are now in item I, House Communications. Madam Clerk.
Mr. Chairman, we have 13 House Communication number 23119 through 23131.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Discussion on House Communications. Ready? Thank you, members. Moving further down on our order of business, we are now on item J, Senate Communications. Madam Clerk.
Mr. Chairman, we have one Senate Communication number 2326.
Discussion on Senate Communications. Ready? Thank you, members. Moving down to item K, Delegation Matters. Madam Clerk.
Mr. Chairman, we have 9 Delegation Matters number 23-90 through 2398.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Discussion on Delegation Matters. Ready? Thank you, members. We are now on item L, Miscellaneous Communications. Madam Clerk.
Mr. Chairman, we have 17 Miscellaneous Communications number 23130 to 23146.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Discussion on Miscellaneous Communications. Ready? Thank you, members. Moving along, we are now on item M, reports on standing committees. There happens to be none. None on item N, reports of special and conference committee. There is none on item O, unfinished business. We are now on item P, resolution calendar. There is none. We move down now to item Q, the bill calendar, and at this time, I recognize the floor leader.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and so that we're in line with our rules, I move to suspend Rule 7, Section 8, and Rule 9, Sections 7, 9, and 10. With all, I guess, with all bills on today's calendar. So move.
There is a motion offered on the suspension of rules by our floor leader, and it has been seconded. These are the rules for the committee report and first and final reading. Any discussion on the motion offered by our floor leader? Ready? All those in favor, please say aye. Those opposed, say nay. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Floor leader.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I now move to pass House Local Bill 23-67 to place, 67 to reappropriate funds under Saipan Local Law 20-4 and Saipan Local Law 20-26 for other purposes. So move.
There is a motion. There is a motion offered by our floor leader for the passage of House Local Bill 23-67, and it has been seconded. Discussion on the motion. Recognize the author of the proposed legislation.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. But before we move on, guess we can consider a technical amendment just because the agenda reflects that the Saipan Local Law 20-4 should read 20-24. So that's just a technical amendment, and I'm offering a substitute. Can I just give it to the Sarge, to the clerk, and I'll explain the substitute. There's no changes in regards to the funds distribution. It's all going to the Legislative Bureau, but we just made it more detailed. So $10,000 of the funds will be going to the payment for the annual membership fee to APIL, and the remainder of the funds will address the needs of the Legislative Bureau, provided that none of those funds are utilized for traveling purposes for staff of the Bureau, because those monies belong to the 3rd Senatorial District and shall be spent within the 3rd Senatorial District. And if they even try to spend those monies outside of the Senatorial District, for sure the AG will stop any fundings from any travel that will be utilized outside of the 3rd Senatorial District. So that's just a substitute version of the legislation. Doesn't change any intent of the legislation. The money's going to the Bureau, just being more specific that $10,000 will be going to APIL, and the remainder will be utilized for the needs of the Legislative Bureau within the 3rd Senatorial District. So moved, Mr. Chairman.
And
There is a substitute offered by Representative BJ Atto for House Bill, Local Bill 23-67, and it has been seconded. Discussion on the substitute. Recognize Representative Marissa Flores.
Thank you, Chairman. It does state here that if there were no other changes, it specifically says JD, I assume this is the JD Edwards Business Unit 2415F and 2415G specifically. What source is that? Is this a legislative business unit? Where is this funding source from? And then on line 6 of page 2, if there were no amendments to that except for the technical on line 4, which should read Saipan Local Law 20-24, and it takes money from Saipan Local Law 20-26, more specifically JDE BU 7186S. I just like for clarity where this money, what is the revolving fund title? Where-
Recognize Representative BJ Atto for
Thank you.
in response.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for that, Marissa Flores. All these funds have been appropriated to the Legislative Bureau, where we're just redirecting the funds. A lot of the projects that these funds were supposed to address back in the 20th legislature have been completed, and the cost was actually cheaper than what we had appropriated. Therefore, we're allowing the Legislative Bureau to utilize these funds. As you are aware, we introduced this in the House in a period when the austerity or the ARPA money was taken away from the Legislative Bureau to address the shortage. Unfortunately, the Legislative Bureau is whole, and we're giving these funds back to them so that they can utilize it for pressing issues right now. They couldn't use the funds that was given to them back then because it was dedicated to the generator that was just put here in the legislative building, and the cost of that was actually less than when it was first anticipated to move with that project. I hope that answers your question. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Ato. And you still have the floor, Rep. Marisa Flores.
Thank you so much, Chairman, and thank you, Rep. Atal, for the clarity. I think that's important so that we know what it's being used for. I much appreciate it, and thank you. I yield my time.
Any further discussion? Recognize the speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And just a question to the author. Your substitute brings up or mentions restriction on travel for the staff. So how does that work when we need staff to come with us? We mentioned APIL, for example.
So with the APIO membership, Mr. Speaker and Mr. Speaker, as you're sitting member of APIO, most specifically as the president of APIO, and you're a member from the 3rd Senatorial District. Therefore, those funds were able to be utilized for that payment. As far as for the travel, this is regarding utilizing these funds for functions of the House or the Senate in regards to traveling for legislative staff within Inner Islands or for training outside of the CNMI. So the funds can be utilized within the CNMI for projects for the bureau assignments within the 3rd Senatorial District. Does that answer your question, or
I'm just trying because we have a APIO board meeting coming up, and we might need staff to travel. And I would think that, or would your substitute allow for that?
It should allow, more specifically for your request as the president of APIO.
Yeah.
It should allow that because you're a member from the 3rd Senatorial District,
Okay.
and it'll address, and more specifically, you're the sitting president of APIO.
Okay. So clarified. Thank you. Thank you, Rep. Atal. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman.
Any further discussion on the motion offered or the substitute offered by Representative BJ Ato? Ready? With the substitute offered by BJ Ato, all those in favor, please say aye. All that are opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. House Local Bill 23-67 now is in the form of substitute 1. And we are now on the main motion. Discussion on the motion. Ready? Thank you, members. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Representative Adda,
Ngan.
Representative Aldan, Representative Atal,
Yes.
Representative Benavente, Representative Camacho Angelo,
Yes.
Representative Camacho Diego,
Yes.
Representative Camacho Joel,
Ngan.
Representative Castro,
Ngan.
Senator De Leon Guerrero,
Yes.
Representative Flores Joseph,
Yes.
Representative Flores Marisa,
Yes.
Senator Magofnia,
Yes.
Representative Manglonia,
Yes.
Representative Omar,
Ngan.
Representative Probst,
Yes.
Representative Villagomez,
Well,
Representative Yang Tamay, Representative Yumu,
Yes.
Mr. Chairman.
Hungan.
Mr. Chairman, all 19 members present voted yes.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. With all 19 members voting in the affirmative, House Local Bill 23-67, Substitute 1, hereby passes the delegation. Moving along, recognize the floor leader.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I now offer a motion to pass House Local Bill 23-68 to appropriate 205,000 from revenues collected for the 3rd Senatorial District pursuant to 10 CMC subsection 3841 and for other purposes. So move.
There is a motion offered by our floor leader for the passage of House Local Bill 23-68, and it has been seconded. Discussion on the motion? Short recess. Thank you, members, and to the viewing public. We rise back from our short recess, and before we enter into a recess, we are at the motion for the passage of House Local Bill 23-68, and we are now open for discussion. Okay, ready? Thank you, members. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Representative Hadda,
Yes.
Representative Adan, yes. Hello, Yato. Representative Benavente, Representative Camacho Angelo. Angelo.
Aware.
Representative Camacho Diego,
Yes.
Representative Camacho Joel,
Good.
Representative Castro,
Good.
Senator De Leon Guerrero,
Yes.
Representative Flores Joseph,
Yes.
Representative Flores Marisa,
Yes.
Senator Magofnia,
Hungan.
Representative Panglonia,
Yes.
Representative Omar,
Hungan.
Representative Villa Gomez,
Aware.
Representative Yanktamay,
Aware.
Representative Yumu,
Yes.
Mr. Chairman,
Oh,
Can we recognize the representative, please?
I'm back.
Representative Probst.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman,
Hungan.
Mr. Chairman, we have 18 members voted yes.
Thank you, Madam
3
Clerk.
members
With
absent.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. With 80 members voting in the affirmative, House Local Bill 23-68 hereby passes the delegation. Thank you, members. That took care of our bill calendar, although there is one bill that's in bill calendar that we are not going to act today. So we move down to item R, miscellaneous business. Are there any miscellaneous business? Ready? Further down, recognize the Vice Chairman.
Thank you, members, and thank you, Chairman. I'd just like to say that, I hear Marissa's concern with regards to the the nonprofit to do the reporting and whatnot, but we also, and I would like to let everybody knows that, that we also need to report, like the leadership also has to report up here, that are up here, sitting up here, has to report also to the members what is being spent and what bills are being already approved, that those fundings that are already approved and signed by the governor should not be reappropriated again without the knowledge and without the consent of the members that are involved. I just like to say that. So we like to respect everybody, everybody's share and thoughts of that, because there are some issues, and don't worry about it now, but there is going to be issues later, and I can already foresee this thing, and that's why I'm saying this, and I'm saying to the members, please, let's be resilient enough to really work together, because this is public funds that we have to worry about. That's all I want to say, and thank you very much, because you know what? We have source also that we get information with, and it could get nasty if we don't do our due diligence up here. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chairman. Duly noted. Any further on miscellaneous business? Recognize our Representative Roy Ada.
Thank you, Chairman. I'd just like to wish the viewing public and everybody else happy Thanksgiving. And please be safe out there and enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you, Rep. Ada. Any further on miscellaneous business? I recognize Representative Marisa Flores.
Thank you. Since we're in this, Chairman, since we're in the spirit of greeting our Commonwealth, happy Thanksgiving, I'd also like to take the time to give thanks to the hardworking people of the Commonwealth, both in the public and private sector. We are all in this together. I'm very blessed and fortunate to stand alongside you as we move forward towards a more prosperous, healthier, safer Commonwealth. Happy Thanksgiving, Marianas. I love you very much. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Representative Flores. Any further? Recognized for the second time, for the first time, Representative Denita Yangtimay.
Okay, yes, happy Thanksgiving to all of you. I just want to thank everyone for the food items that you've donated and will be picked up by Caridad this afternoon, and making everyone's Thanksgiving holidays fruitful or happy or something. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Bountiful. Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving again.
Thank you, Representative Yangtimay. Any further? For the second time, recognize the Chair, Vice Chair.
Thank you, Chairman. I just wish everybody happy Thanksgiving too. Lo para ihila ilota ni Chamorro. Wini jao na be noi dongkulu na apresiasyon jan inimiddi na kinimprendi jan dongkulu na happy Thanksgiving no wishes para todo di siya durante nisti siya ichinatsaga gini na tempo giman mapus siya na sokan ay man mapus na sokan jan istapago pus jao na besongan ta gini dongkulu na si Diyos Masi pud iazurun mizo ni publiko ni inconsistente ami pa ben fangagi gini mogi gini gi pisun legislatura da bensagi kum umazudam jo as manu isinya ne isinya bensagi tumuwizi publiko ja wadi didi mas lebianu ja una para didi sti chinatsaga galunu komunidad Jesus Masi.
Jesus Masi, Mr. Vice Chairman. Any further on miscellaneous business? Ready? Thank you, members. We move down to item S, announcements. Are there any announcements? If none, we are now on item T, adjournment, and I recognize the floor leader.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I now offer a motion to adjourn subject to the call of the chair. So move.
Thank you, floor leader. There is a motion offered by the floor leader for adjournment, and it has been seconded. Discussion? Ready? Thank you, members. All those in favor, please say aye. Those opposed, say nay. We are now adjourned. Thank you.